Now we're gonna do a check to make sure that our character is indeed proportion. If you guys go to google.com and you type in Andrew Loomis 7 heads proportion, you're gonna see a guide that looks like this. Scroll down. Yeah, so this is a good guide to use. That way we're able to tell if our torso is too short or maybe it's too long, if our leg is too short or long. We're going to be able to use this guide to let us know if any of our parts of our body is way out of hand. And there are different types of guidelines here you could use. We got the normal, 7.5 heads high, idealistic 8 heads, fashion 8.5, and heroic 9 heads. Now for most adults have normal 7.5 heads. What that means is if I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then half a head, that's 7.5 heads. Most people are gonna be this height, most adults. Now, if you want to do someone who's more 6'1" or above, 6 foot 6'1" or above, yeah, you could do idealistic 8 heads. All right. If you want to do something even way out of this world, so maybe around 7 foot or higher, you could go ahead and do the fashion or heroic. Now, if you are planning to do a character like from Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, those characters are generally 8.5 heads or 9 heads high to make them appear stronger and more heroic. So it's really up to you. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the idealistic 8 heads. And I do want to make him taller because I want to exaggerate a little bit on his height. I know that Michael B. Jordan is 6'0", and I think that for Blender, if I do render up in Blender, it tends to make something look shorter. So I do like to add a little bit inches there when I am doing a character. So I like to exaggerate slightly on the height. So I'm going to do 8 heads, okay? So you guys feel free to save this so you could use it as a reference in Blender. Alright, now back in Blender, we could go ahead and go to the front view. We're going to duplicate our head here. I'm going to duplicate it 8 heads. You could do whatever amount of heads you want. You could do 7.5 heads, normal size if you want. You could do a heroic one, it's up to you. But yeah, I'm doing mine's 8 heads. We could go to the viewport display and then we could set it from texture to material. And then we could go ahead and select our head and duplicate that, Shift D and X, and then move it to the left. And I'm gonna duplicate this and make 8 heads of this, 8 heads. And Shift D, Z, and then move it down. And then again. Alright, so let me see how this looks like. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so 8 heads. Alright, so the first head is gonna be from, yeah, so I'm looking at this. The first head needs to be from the top and then onto the chin. And then the second head is gonna be from the chin onto the right around the nipple area. Third head is going to be from the nipple area onto the navel. And it shows you the value here. They're very small, but they're right here on the right side. It says 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So third head is from the nipple onto the navel. Fourth head is going to be from the navel area right around the start of his package there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then fifth head is going to be from above the start of his package onto halfway down his thigh, all right, almost halfway down, maybe slightly lower. And then 6 head is going to be from that area onto the bottom of his knee. 7 head is from slightly from the bottom of the knee onto around the shin area, maybe slightly higher. And then 8 head is going to be from right on there onto the foot area, okay? So knowing that, okay, go ahead and right now, we have our character in separate pieces, so we could go ahead and just select all of these. And we're going to combine these. Before you combine these, make sure that you make sure that mirror is collapsed if you have mirror turned on. So let's go ahead and, after you make sure that all the modifiers are collapsed, let's go and select everything here for our mesh, Control J. Okay, so this will just make it easier for us to move things around. Just make sure you don't remesh it yet, okay? Because if you remesh it, you're going to be fusing this together, which we will do later, but not right now. Then we go to sculpt mode, symmetry turn on, with a grab brush, strength at 1. So the first head is going to be from the top of the head and chin, and second head is going to be from the chin area onto the, okay, so right here, it has to be lining up like almost at the nipple area. So this is a little too low, my chest, so I'm going to go and pull this up. Okay, something like that. And I think that the shoulder's too low, so I'm going to go ahead and definitely pull this up slightly. Something like that. I'm going to go ahead and bring down the strength. And I think this is too round. I'm going to go ahead and flatten it slightly. Alright, so that's what I like about that. And I'm going to crank up my strength again. And the third head is going to be from the nipple area onto the navel area. So I think this has to be slightly lower. Okay, and then the fourth head is going to be, alright, fourth head is going to be from the navel area onto the, right at the base of the penis area. You know what, let me go ahead and make this slightly lower. Okay, and then this is going to be lower. And I think the torso here needs to be wider so we have more of a V shape. I'm going to go ahead and mask this area out. And I'm going to go ahead and make this wider so we got more of a V shape going. Alright. And this is kind of bothering me. I think that I could make sure that the triceps is showing a little bit more. Anyways, we can go back to this later. Let's just work on the proportion. Alright, so this third head is going to be from the nipple area onto the navel. Fourth head is going to be from the navel area onto the base of the penis area, but this is definitely needs to go down. So I'm going to go ahead and use the grab brush and pull this down. You could probably go to the masking and mask this area out. Make sure you don't mask out the hand. Just like that. I'm going to go to the paintbrush. I zoomed in a little too much. Okay, I'm going to go and smooth this. Alright, and then Control I to invert it. Okay, and I'm going to go to move. Set pivot to mask border. And turn this off. Turn off symmetry. And I'm going to go and move it down. Okay, and then I'm going to go unmask that. Go to grab brush. Okay, so I think it's like kind of almost there. Just gonna need to turn on symmetry. Move this down. And then I could know that the base is somewhere right around there. Smooth it. Alright, I think like this is fine. I could, yeah, something like that's okay. Alright, and then the fifth head is gonna be right at the base of the penis area onto halfway down the thigh, which is, I think we actually kind of have that already. And then the sixth head is gonna be from there onto the bottom of the knee. I need to bring the knee up. So I'm going to go to my grab brush. Go to my grab brush and crank up my strength and move this up. Yeah, I'm going to go and move this up. I think this is too bulky. Alright. Alright, so something like this. Okay, and then the 6th head is gonna be from right below the knee onto the shin area, or slightly above the shin area. Okay, so I need to definitely lift this up slightly. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and lift that up. I'm gonna go ahead and use my grab brush and kind of lift up the calves a little bit. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and mask out the feet area. You don't want to deform the feet, so it's best to do it this way, where you're masking it. Control I to invert it. I'm gonna go to the move tool, turn off symmetry. When I use a move tool, I do like to turn off symmetry, and then sculpt, pivot to mask border, and I'm gonna go ahead and move it up so it's the last head ends right at the last head here. Alt M to unmask that. Go to my grab brush. Alright, and smooth this out. Okay, and I could definitely kind of lift this slightly up. Okay, I'm gonna go. I forgot to turn on my symmetry. Make sure you have the symmetry turned on. You want this to be as accurate as possible. I'm gonna go to my grab brush, and yeah, I'm gonna go and lift this up. Slightly lift that up. Okay, good. And I'm gonna go in this view. Ooh, we got this weird round thing going on. I'm gonna go to my grab brush and gotta move that back. That, cool. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and select all of my heads. Yeah, I'm just gonna go in and put them in a new collection. I'm gonna press M and I'm gonna put new collection, and I'm gonna call it 7. I'm gonna put heads proportion, and then press OK. Alright, so now I could just hide it. Okay, good. So this is kind of what we have so far, looking all around. But it might be a little too high now. I'm gonna go to my scope mode, and yeah, I'm gonna go and bring down the booty. It's too long. And just down, and now I found this photo online. I think this is David sculpture, so you could look at something. You don't have to look at exactly real photos, but you could get some accurate anatomy sculpts online, and you could use it as a reference also. So I'm gonna be looking at this here as a reference to do the butt area. Okay, so for this, I think I need to go ahead and just add the dimple area, like around this area here, and show a little bit more in the spinal muscles. And later on, we are going to be smoothing this area out. But yeah, I think this is good. And looking at this view, yep, probably could add a bit more definition here. Smooth it. And smooth it. Okay, use my grab brush and kind of pull this down. And looking at this view here, looking at the calf section, I think I made the calves slightly too long, so I'm gonna go ahead and lift this up slightly. I'm gonna bring down my strength. mess around with the strength of your brush. Like if you're having a hard time manipulating it, just go ahead and adjust it as needed. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my texture again from material to texture. Okay, and it looks like they're about the same. The color is darker here. That's because it's using the paint color that we have used for the head. It's also using it on the body. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the tab key. We're gonna combine these again later, but I wanna uncombine them again. I'm gonna go select my character's face here. P, separate by selection. Yeah, so separate that again and go back to object mode. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my material, and see the paint test material is applied to the body and it's also applied to the head. But the thing is, for the body, we didn't make a smart UV unwrap for this, so it's just getting a dark part of the texture for the head. I'm gonna remove that, and I'm gonna create a random material, and I'm just gonna go ahead and call this one skin test. And we could make it the same color as the skin here. To do that, we have to make sure we're on flat because we're gonna sample that skin tone. We could scroll all the way down on the viewport display. We could go to our color, eyedropper, and sample what we have on the face or head area. I'm gonna make sure I did it accurately. There you go. And I'm gonna go to my color here, go to HEX, copy that code, exact code, and I'm gonna scroll down and then go to the base color and paste that exact same code here so that when we render, we're able to see it. And then back onto our matte cap. So yeah, very important if you want a sample color to go to flat, all right? Because if you go to matte cap, you're not sampling the right color because it has all these shadows that makes it darker. All right, cool. And if we go and render, of course, everything's dark. And I'm gonna go ahead and select this and just maybe duplicate this so I could see more of the body. Shift D and Z. All right, and then I could maybe go to the power and crank it up a bit more. You could see that the power for the intensity of the light is really high because we don't have our character in real world size. Later on, we're probably gonna have to readjust our light or even redo the light. But I think for now, this is just a test. And I'm gonna go and duplicate this just so we have something to work with and see. And rotate it, move it this way. And I'm gonna rotate it and move it this way. Crank it up, duplicate it, and Z. All right, and bring it down. So this area is gonna be the fill light, so it's not gonna be as bright as the one on the right. Once again, just really, this is just a light test. We're gonna change this up later if we need to. And I'm gonna go ahead and go to cycles and try to see how it looks like with cycles. Very cool. Pretty cool. And I think looking at this here, I could straighten that out slightly. So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go to my sculpt mode. Careful not to remesh this because we don't need to remesh it right now. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and move this slightly this way. There you go. That's better, I think. And remember that we also have this long sartorius muscle here going, and it looks like it's slightly warped. It needs to be straightened out. So remember, the sartorius muscle is very straightened out. Straighten out like this, and Show more of the quad muscles. Show more of the quad muscles here. And the teardrop muscle, the lower part of the quad area, and then we got the other part right there. I don't think his quad is that defined. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and he's not that built, his legs, so I'm gonna go ahead and make it thinner. He has an average defined body. He's not really bulky like that. He has an athletic body, but not like super built, you know. Alright, and maybe this might be a little too straight. Usually when you add a little dent like this, it just makes it look more masculine. Alright, and so we're in a good place so far.